I think what the government can do is to activate the Supreme Court judgment. Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Supreme Court actually validates the election of President Muhammadu Buhari. So I don't see a reason why they should not follow what Supreme Court says. So until that, we are still going to be in this chaos in this country. And it's getting worse or worse.
Welcome back. You're still on to Break It On Papers Review on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we have Austin Odume with us in the studios this morning. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Gbolabo. And Kenny, good morning.
Good morning, Austin.
All right, I think I have to start first. And of course, I'm starting on the light of what some Nigerians have said about how pathetic situation has been for them with this Naira crunch and Naira scarcity and the mess. And now we could see that we don't even know if it is light after the tunnel, because many Nigerians are still wondering, could this be true? We had certain things coming from Soludo as at earlier yesterday, and after a while we had some of the top management staff of the CBN saying that's a lie. And later on, the CBN governor is saying, yes, we can now go ahead. Now, it appears that the level of communication in this government appears to be like more or less like there is no connection. Everyone appears to be watching the body language, not really minding that they have a responsibility to many Nigerians, because obviously it was when President Buhari said, I would not sit and allow anyone to disobey the provisions or judgment or the verdict of the Supreme Court before we had Emefiele moving into action. Meanwhile, Nigerians are crying every day, and now he has responsibilities to Nigeria first, to Nigerians, if I have to put it that way. But why does he have to wait this long?
Yes, that's the major question. It looks as if the president just suddenly woke up from a very long slumber, because body language is very key. That is why the president will need to act fast in every situation. Of course, that has characterized the Buhari administration. When issues are getting out of hand, you see the president keeping quiet, and all of a sudden, he will speak as if he has been totally disconnected from the current reality on ground. The statement came yesterday from the presidential spokesperson that CBN does not actually need to wait for Mr. President to give directive before obeying the Supreme Court. You know, it was after that. So which you can ordinarily interpret that to mean that the CBN was all along waiting for what the president will say. Not until after that statement yesterday. Does it mean that the president, as at yesterday, just realized that Supreme Court that the CBN has been taking the Supreme Court for granted? In my view, and I think this will be like a popular opinion, it is actually the president that has disregarded the Supreme Court, not even the CBN or Attorney General of the Federation.
But
Because
is the
these are
CBN responsible to just the president or Nigerians? Does he have to wait for the president first before actually sitting or possibly making a declaration under the purview of what the Constitution says and empowerment given to CBN to act over monetary policies?
Gbolabo, morally speaking, the CBN should respond to Nigeria. But the way things are, the CBN governor reports directly to Mr. President. When this whole policy came on board, the Minister of Finance did come out to say that she was not aware. The CBN governor at that time said she does not need permission of the Minister of Finance. Don't forget, the Minister of Finance, CBN is under the purview of the Ministry of Finance. You understand? But the law does not expect CBN to take directive from the Minister of Finance. So it reports directly to the President. So if you look at it on the flip side, Nigerians will not suffer, but whether we like it or not, he responds directly to Mr. President. That is why not until a statement came out from under the nose of Mr. President before the CBN governor could act. Yes, there was this simulation yesterday, Soludo coming on board to say that, it's not illegal tender. You know, Soludo was wrong to have come up with such statements. He said he had a phone conversation with CBN governor. That should have been meant for public consumption. there was bankers committee meeting yesterday. It's a meeting of top CBN management staff and all the CEO of the deposit money bank that we have. That is the highest decision making in terms of policy and directive to commercial bank. Soludo, having known that they were in the meeting, should have waited for the statement to officially break. You know, like 2 weeks ago, some people speculated that CBN has issued statement unofficially, and we said no. When this whole thing came aboard, the statement was not unofficial. Now, for you to do it properly again, you have to make an official and categorical statement.
Is Soludo not a stakeholder here?
Soludo is not a stakeholder.
It's not.
Soludo
As
is
a former CBN governor.
What of Sanusi? What of Adewale Sanusi, Joseph Sanusi? You understand? Let's call a spade a spade. Soludo today is the governor of Anambra State. He has nothing to do with. So, for example, now the deputy governor of former deputy governor of the CBN, Gbolabo in Oyo State, will come up to speak on behalf of the CBN. It is not acceptable. It is not done. He said he had a full conversation with Emefiele. Of course, there are some classified information he could disclose to him, but that doesn't. I heard people yesterday. They say, Soludo has spoken. I said, who is Soludo? As far as today CBN is concerned, Soludo is not a force to be reckoned with. We have director of media and publicity in the CBN. We have the spokesperson for the CBN. So why should it now be Soludo that will come and give us information? Some other people apart from Soludo also had that classified information that a high-powered bankers committee meeting was in progress. They should have waited. This information that you are talking about now, as early as 10 a.m., I got this information that we should start dispensing, that commercial bank can start dispensing. But not until a communique is officially issued. You can't go ahead and do anything. So I am quite aware that it is not only Soludo who had that opportunity to know that a news will come out to say that it remained illegal tender, because the speculation will arrive almost immediately. Gbolabo issued that statement because it was out of prayer that they had to issue statement that, it's just a way of Mr. President exonerating himself. You know, every other person as far as Buhari is concerned is guilty except himself. You understand? So he just wants to exonerate himself and say, I am not the one who is CBN to disobey the Supreme Court order without the President providing covers for him. Why didn't you make this statement a day after the Supreme Court judgment, or that same day immediately the Supreme Court gave the judgment?
So what is the SUCO now for Nigerians?
The SUCO is very simple.
They should give us palliatives.
The CBN has given out official memo that 500 naira, 1,000 naira, 200 naira, the one you call the old one now, remain legal tender according to Supreme Court ruling till December 31st, 2023. That is CBN. This morning, banks will start complying. Banks will also get directive from their own corporate headquarters officially. You know, 2 weeks ago, last week, some bankers started dispensing, and we said, well, it could just be on your own, because these same banks that dispensed last week, some of these customers went back to deposit the same money, and they said they are not going to collect. You understand? So officially, I think things should start easing off this money. If it is 20,000 naira per transaction or per BVN, let it start gradually. But the truth of the matter is that our people have suffered so much. Now, this is it. When you talk about government action and inaction, who paid for the life that have been lost? Baba beating that died as a result of prolonged trek last week. Who will pay for that damages? The woman that died in the hospital of labor because no old note can be collected, transfer is not made, they need new cash at all costs. Who bear the brunt? That's the issue. Now all of this thing from the all indication is most likely going to ease off beginning from this morning or any moment from now. Then who pays for this? I hope that Emefiele should be made to pay for this. That's the truth of the matter. If you need to obey the law, why will it have to take about 2 weeks? That people have to suffer, people will fall down and die. Look at banks are crowded, people are stranded. Yesterday I went to a particular bank, I saw people under the sun. Do you know what they wanted to do? They were not going there to collect money because that particular bank said they don't have money. They were going to complain. Customer service issue, customers issue. I made transfer, they debited me. You know all this stuff. Right. People had to stay for hours under the sun. Who pay for this? I think we should get to a level where people are not easily allowed to get away with whatever evil they have caused in the system.
That's right. That's a conversation. I've raised this with you before, Austin. Talking about compensation for this. Okay, yes, things ease out and we get back to life as usual. Nigerians have suffered over quite a period of time. This is just going to go like that, or we just go back to life as usual.
That is what I've just said. Some people who have deliberately allowed this to happen should be made to face the music. If not for anything, they should also pay with their job. We cannot say that they should be killed, because a lot of people have died. Things will ease up for those of us that are alive. I don't know whether you get that.
Right.
For those who have died, that's the end of it.
But I'm talking about Nigerians now.
That's the issue. Let things ease off. Nobody is going to give us extra money because we have suffered pain. But the point we are making is that certain people in government offices should be meant to pay for whatever hardship. Yes, they can pay with their job. Let head roll. Emefiele is no longer fit to remain in office. The Attorney General of the Federation is no longer fit to remain in office. Even Mr. President is no longer fit to remain in office. But we know that talking about removing Mr. President from the office is a tall order. The day the National Assembly of Nigeria failed the people of Nigeria was the day the president made that broadcast for reuse of the 200 naira note. A Supreme Court gave order. Rather than obeying the order, you had to come up with a nationwide broadcast. That was the day the National Assembly ought to have instigated impeachment proceeding against Mr. President. Of course, people should be made to pay for their action. That's the truth. You can't compensate everybody. You can't say, oh, let's begin to give credit to everybody because they have suffered.
That is not possible.
Let's not even go into that conversation. Let me tell you, telecommunication, for example, when they deduct our money, there's a way the federal government through NCC punish them by ensuring that they pay fine. I know you must have read some of this fine before. 100 million, so amount of billion. They pay compensation for the hardship caused you and I, but the money goes into the coffers of the government. I don't know whether you are getting that. So we are not even talking about giving us money or paying through any other means. Those who have caused this deliberate hardship upon the people, if not for anything, they should also cease to remain in office.
To get the boot. Okay, let's take a look at some other issues. The presidency released a bunch of statements yesterday. Now, one of them has it that the February 25 election was the most competitive in our history. Of course, that's in spite of the BVAS IREV issues and some talk about manipulation of results and all of that. Do you agree with this?
The election was not a perfect election. We witnessed it, we monitored it, not perfect at all. I keep telling people this is the first time BVAS will be deployed for national election. So the way it worked in Ekiti, the way it worked in Osun, an isolated election, you can't expect that result, you understand. But to a large extent, the election reflected the wishes of the people because there were a lot of shocker. And I want to agree that this election is the most keenly contested election. We suffice to say that is the most competitive.
Right.
We don't have to bring the roof down because we feel that a certain candidate should have emerged the winner of this election. It was the same process. Some people said the presidential election was not free and fair, but this same set of people went to Abuja, went to International Conference Center to celebrate senators who just emerged on their parties, to celebrate National Assembly members who emerged under their platform. It was the election was conducted the same day, not as if INEC did anything differently in result competition for the various election, House of Rep, the Senate, and the presidential election. There are skirmishes here and there. There are glitches here and there. These are areas where we can improve on. How did we give birth to BVAS, for example? It was after the 2019 election. We saw that we have even gotten so much setback. We have gotten down in terms of election compared to what we had in 2015. And BVAS was given birth to. So in my view, BVAS was able to put a lot of things into consideration. Where we have a lot of powerful people who lost in this election.
Right.
You understand? It doesn't have to. Some people, their definition of free and fair election is that their candidate win in all the 36 states. We are not looking at that. There were a lot of surprises. You understand? You cannot say that the election is not free to a large extent, where people who ordinarily were not supposed to win came up to win election in certain areas of the country. So the point I'm making is that the whole electoral process and electoral reform is a work in progress. So there is a lot of room for improvement. INEC need to sit down after this whole exercise, reappraise the situation, and come up with further innovation to enhance the credibility of future election. But by and large, except we want to deceive ourselves, there's a lot of credibility in this election. I don't think it makes sense to throw away the baby with the bathwater just because there are issues here and there. Those who are contesting this result, of course, the court is there. Let them argue their case. Let them prove beyond reasonable doubt. Of course, we have a candidate in the election who said, I won and I'm going to prove it in court. I love that, because when you get to the court, I'm always happy, because it's an opportunity for our law to further be tested. And when laws are tested, it further strengthens the democratic process. That is the way it works. So to a large extent, I think the election, especially the deployment of beavers, has actually helped to moderate the election. Look at the big 5 states. They turn out millions of figures of voters. But this time around, some of them barely struggle to survive. There's nobody that can say, I am a politician that cannot be defeated, especially in this last election.
Austin, before we go on this break, I wanted to ask, is there a misplacement of priority among the opposition parties? Because obviously the big game for them is actually to reclaim a mandate, like they said. But now it appears that they are fighting themselves. And now you see Okowa saying, as a matter of fact, that the obedient movement is born out of religion and ethnicity. And this is not a movement about democracy. And now you also have the Labour Party not really in tandem with what the PDP is bringing forward. Now, do we have the opposition having a misplacement of priority here, not really facing the music, and they're dancing reggae to another person's song here?
That is ordinarily expected. One of the prayer of an average politician is confusion in the camp of the opponent. You understand? It's a major prayer for politicians. You understand? So that is the way it works. These are parties who cannot come together. Look at the result of the election. For example, Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwakwaso, they are all of the PDP. Breakaways. You understand? Let's imagine that they were able to foster cohesion before the election. It will be a landslide victory on the part of the opposition. It was after the loss of the election that they began to form alliance to address press conference, alliance to protest, and what have you.
So it's eye service.
So, see,
really
look
like
at
themselves.
it. Okowa that is also speaking is playing to the gallery, because the election, all of the candidates, they were ethnic, political sentiment as far as the election is concerned, religious sentiment. All of this played out. What have you? Obi was able to garner all of this vote because of the religion he practiced and where it comes from. The man that was declared elected also was able to come that far because of the candidate we said he should not pick that he picked. If not for that, he wouldn't have won the election. So look at it. This is the one of the rare elections in Nigeria that ethnic, tribe, religion play a key role, and we saw that coming before the election. We saw it coming. So Okowa explained to the gallery the factor he claimed work for Obedient also work for them in other area, especially in the area of ethnic. Why would some people want to reclaim power, retain power at all costs after they will have spent 8 years by May 29? What do you call that? Was it not the Asaba Declaration, where Okowa hosted the governors, Southern Nigerian governor, that said that power must shift to the south? So what is Okowa saying? These are politicians. They are making mere political statements to play to the gallery. That's all.
We must go on a break now. We'll be back.
FM 94.9.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
So, as you wake up one first check highlight for early momo, you can't remember, say, time for school runs don't reach you. Baller wey sabi be one 4-person hand for there. How you go do your thing, come still catch up with your game? That na baller wey sabi. How you go do your waka, come still watch the game full time? Abi, come on, baller. Showmax dey your side, sake of say dem dey sama you with better leagues for any screen, anytime, any day, no matter where you dey. For chicken money wey be 3,200 naira a month, live from SuperSport on Showmax Pro. Make you sign up for showmax.com.
ẹ jẹ́ ń sọ fún yín pa Zainabu bó bá ti jí láàárọ̀ yóò kọ́ jẹun tó dáa yóò wá gbé pabambarì lé lórí Didion syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12 ara ti mókùnù ọpọlọ ti jí pépé iṣẹ́ yá.
lẹ́ òjò.
káàárọ̀ Zainab ìdí nù ti fi máa pegedé lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ rẹ̀.
jọ̀ọ́bà náwó mọ̀wé hùn.
àti pàápàá ń bi eré Didion syrup of hemoglobin ní èròjà vitamin B12 nínú tí yóò mú kọ́pọlọ àtàrà rẹ̀ ó jí pépé ní ìgbáradì fún àṣeyọrí tí ọ̀lẹ́gbẹ́ ń gbà gbogbo. mu ṣíbí méjì Didion péré lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú ṣíbí lásán tàbí kọ́ púpọ̀ pẹ̀lú mímu ẹlẹ́rìndòdò tó bá fẹ́ràn. ọ̀yá gbéra ńlẹ̀ bí akọni pẹ̀lú Didion.
To be healthy, strong and active, I say. Take Didion.
Didion syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12 agbára tí ń roni lágbára ẹ kàwé pélébé inú rẹ̀.
They say your life and destiny is in your hands, and that's why Glow has brought instant money into your hands by giving you the power to buy your Green Lotto tickets with your Glow airtime. So when you dial *73342# on your Glow line, you can buy Green Lotto tickets with your airtime. Play your favorite games, check your results, and get your winnings via airtime or direct transfer to your bank account. Now you have the power to change your life with your hands by dialing *73342# on your Glow line to play on Green Lotto using your airtime and win instant cash today. Glow Unlimited.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
I'm back here still on to 32 FM 94.9 and it's the papers review here on Break It Down. We'll open the phone lines right about now. We'll also take your comments. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. And for the international audience, you can call us on +234 90 62 949. I guess we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Salah from the world.
All right, good morning.
Let me ask Austin. He said premises. Do you call technical issues premises? When the result of the Senate and the representatives were uploaded, and the presidential result could not be transmitted, that is premises. And about the president, saying he broadcasted the 200 notes and it should have been removed. The president has been doing everything. Let me tell you, the day he removed the chief justice of this nation without report to the National Assembly, the president had to go and take $1 billion without consulting the National Assembly. So what are those offenses? Thank you.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Please
turn down the volume on your radio.
Okay. So the issue is that it is a deliberate decision for the president of this nation to be punishing the masses of this country. It's not civil. So after 2 weeks of the Supreme Court judgment, to implement the judgment, it's out of order. It's not civil at all. If the president can be giving, is that a legacy that he has promised to be left behind when it's May 29?
All right.
It's not civil. I think what Austin Udumu has suggested will have been the best, because they have to, there should be, regarding all those measures they are putting in place, all those people who are deliberately punishing the masses of this country. Anyway, if anybody within this country will not have power to do that, the Almighty God that created us have power to do more than that.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay,
and other people over there. I'm sharing from here.
All right, sure.
Oxley made a statement that I was laughing. If Kwankwaso could be an attitude man and they form alliance before the election, they put the just in the lesser. Some people voted because of ethnicity and religion. They will not vote on that line. They say Tinubu is just in the lesser. The problem we have is self-centeredness and I don't know what to use. That's killing everybody. I can do it. Some people know that they cannot win councillorship in their ward. They will go up for governorship. God will save us all. About CBN and president and everything. It is the governor that calls it. After the CBN, after the judgment, you shall go for whatever court. Because it's certain that they go for control of court. That's why all these things happen.
All right.
They're the one that causes it. They should go there and arrest immediately and anybody that can be arrested.
Okay.
Since last week. Have a nice time. God bless you. God bless you.
All right, quickly now, let's go over to Facebook and let's take some comments. And this is from Tulokwe Adeyemi. It says, good morning. I totally agree with the statement coming from Omi Tuntun Group that we should say no to Jagba politics in Oyo State because we all know that the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde has done well, especially in the education sector, to deserve second term in office. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where you're calling us from?
The president realized that it was the message and the Malami that disobeyed the court order. Where there was the training order, the president addressed the nation on 16 February that only 200 naira old and new be legal. Was it a message or Malami that he disobeyed the court order? This government is deficient in credibility. Remember that accused the government of being too rigid and of compromising. Last part of the comment. Don't inject his language.
All right, thank you so much, Johnny Joko. Raji Afiz Abidemi. Now to Facebook. Good morning, Kenny, Gbolabo, and analysts in the studio. After a series of unfortunate deaths and hardships, CBN governor speak out at last. As far as my own is concerned, presidency makes sure they use Emefiele and dump him, but he needs to pay for the damage. God bless Nigeria. All right, let's see if we could take one more comment before going back to phone calls. And of course, Raji Afiz Abiola Raja says, good morning, Kenny and Gbolabo. Mr. President addressed Nigerians when old 200 naira notes was approved to be reused again last time. I don't know what stopped Buhari to readdress us, and that's a question mark. I think Buhari and Emefiele has achieved their aims in this policy. Honestly, this policy, I guess, has no advantage, but it is satanic and wicked. One, many people had died because of this policy. Buhari and Emefiele will be remembered for this for life. God bless Nigeria. All right, thank you so much for that.
All right, let's take another one from Facebook. It's a good thing to know that the CBN governor has finally obeyed the court order, which stated that 1,500 old notes are still illegal tender until 31st of December. I hope this will be a relief to all the hardships attached with the cashless policy, because the policy has adverse effects on everyone, especially small-scale businesses, which shows that the policy has failed already. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother and sister.
Good morning.
This is John Olarwaju from Ado. If not because of some people in Nigeria, I will say we deserve what we are facing now on the issue of Naira design and the passless policy. Why am I saying this? You know, when in time of during the election, campaign, some Nigerians supported this policy because of the candidates. Because of their candidates, they are saying that yes, the policy is good. And me, despite the fact that I did not support one candidate and I support another candidate, even the candidate did not win. But I did not say, okay, this policy is good because of service interest. No. See what we are facing now. Assuming that all Nigeria are joining their voices together and go against that policy. You see what Garba Shehu said, that some Nigerians, many Nigerians, instead to say many Nigerians supported the policy because of their service interest, and in our hands of us. I think sometimes we need to sit down and think, not to allow the politics to take over our reason.
All right. Balkis on audio on Facebook says, ideally, Nigerians ought to be rejoicing with the latest news of the Naira note. However, people are not sure of the right direction because the president hasn't given a proper go-ahead. I'm not even sure the notes are available in our commercial banks, excuse me, because there are rumors that the notes have been burnt. The monetary policy is poorly conceived. We have to go now. That's so much we can take talking about reactions. And of that, Austin, thank you very much for your time on the show. We do appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm Kenny Durutilu.
And I'm Gbolabo Famous School. Bye for now.